I recently embarked on a journey to unlock the Platinum Trophy on the newest WWE video game, WWE 2K25. Boy, did I underestimate the challenge that this was going to be. Now, the game was released on March 14th, but with the Deadman Edition, I was able to play 7 days early, starting on March 7th. And since I'm playing this game on release, there will not be a trophy guide to follow along for this game, which is not recommended, and you'll see why. Now, for reference, I used the WWE 2K24 guide for an estimate on how long things should take, with this game being around 50 hours to complete. And I guess silly me for thinking a copy and paste yearly release sports game was going to be similar, because I ended up spending over double that time on 2K25. But anyways, the main game has a total of 61 trophies, including the Platinum Trophy. And these will all be earned through 6 main game modes, being Play Now, My Rise, Showcase, My Faction, Universe, and My GM. Now, to begin the game, we head into the Performance Center to play through the whole tutorial, because I haven't played a WWE game in like 5 years, and there are lots of controls and moves to learn. So we quickly run through all of the mini tutorials and freshen up on all the combos and few of the new mechanics that were added into the game this year. And now that we've completed the tutorial, it's time to choose our first game mode to knock out, which we end up choosing the Showcase mode. And Showcase mode is actually really cool because you get to play through some of the greatest moments as the wrestlers, and all the cutscenes is basically like an interactive movie of sorts. So we start off at the WrestleMania 40 main event where Cody Rhodes is taking on Roman Reigns.
This was last year, huh? I remember this. Because then The Rock comes.
And right after Roman spears Cody, we enter the match as John Cena and hit Roman with the FU to unlock our first trophy, Day 1-ish, for completing one objective in Showcase mode.
Day 1-ish, there's our first trophy, complete one objective in Showcase. Nice.
From there, we go to finish off the match, which I'm sure most of you watched and already know what happens, but I'll go through it really quick anyways. So we FU Solo Sikoa through the announcer's table, which then brings The Rock out. And after an intense face-off, The Rock hits John Cena with a rock bottom. Then the Shield music hits and Seth Rollins runs into the ring with a chair and gets Superman punched by Roman Reigns. And as The Rock is about to hit Cody with his belt, the Undertaker's music hits and the lights go out. And as someone who is obsessed with WWE from like 2005 to 2010, this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Now as the lights kick back on, Undertaker is right behind The Rock and hits him with the vintage choke slam.
Yep.
Then ultimately, Cody hits Roman with the Crossroads, then pins him, and the rest is history. Now for our next trophy, we head into the 1993 King of the Ring match, where we take on Hulk Hogan as Yokozuna. And here we see the brand new third-person walkout camera for the first time, which is actually a really cool addition to the game, I will say. But as we make our attempt to defeat Hulk Hogan, he continues to beat the shit out of us. Right as he's about to win, a photographer distracts him, allowing us to hit him by surprise and finish him off. And doing so gives us the Bonsai Trophy for crushing Hulkmania at the 1993 King of the Ring as Yokozuna.
Bonsai!
Then we go on to complete a few more showcase matches, leading us to No Mercy 2000.
Finally, dude.
Rikishi versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. So as Rikishi, we wrestle a very dramatic and physically violent match against Stone Cold, where we end up pinning him and winning the match, unlocking the I Did It For The People trophy for stunning Stone Cold at No Mercy 2000.
I did it for the people. Stun Stone Cold at No Mercy 2000 with Rikishi.
And now is where we face our first sort of pain-in-the-ass trophy here. Because after winning quite a few more showcase matches, which are never entirely easy by any means, we find ourselves at the Bloodline War Games. We have to win as the OG Bloodline and the Rogue Bloodline to unlock 2 trophies. So basically here, it starts off as a 1-on-1, and every few minutes, each team adds another wrestler until it eventually becomes a 4-on-4 and the match officially starts, and you can be pinned at any time. And it may seem like a simple task, but there are a few annoying factors standing in between us and the victory here. Number 1 being the obvious fact that there are 8 active wrestlers in between the 2 rings, making it very hard to pin the opponent without being interrupted. Number 2 being the fact that I'm controlling 1 wrestler, which leaves 7 other AI wrestlers constantly trying to pin each other. And number 3 being the challenge to make all 4 opponents bleed before winning the match. So as you can see, we basically just have to spam head attacks over and over and over until we get lucky enough to cut them open. And once all wrestlers are in the match, it becomes an absolute chaotic mess of canceling my team's pins, attempting to kick out of pins, all while trying to make the last opponent bleed and finish the match on my own. Oh, and to make matters even worse, you have to land a super finisher with either Roman Reigns or Sami Zayn once every opponent is already bleeding. And since I haven't covered super finishers yet, they're just special moves that certain wrestlers in the game have that require 3 full finisher bars to activate. So we end up hitting our super finisher as Roman, but somehow Tonga Loa kicks out, of course. Then we hit an insanely clutch switch to Jey Uso and kick out of a pin, and then finally get the pin with Roman Reigns and win the OG Bloodline part of the challenge.
Holy shit, man.
Unlocking the OTC trophy.
The OTC, okay.
And now we have to win as the Rogue Bloodline, which luckily doesn't require as many tedious challenges, so we don't struggle with this one as much. But we make our way to the end of the match, getting the pin as the Rogue Bloodline and unlocking the NTC trophy.
Okay, we won, so let's see if we have to... Okay, we won as the NTC.
And now with one trophy left to unlock in the showcase mode, we have to win the Tribal Gauntlet match, where we obviously choose to wrestle as Roman Reigns. We have to pin 9 other members as they come in one at a time. But surprisingly, this wasn't too hard as we knocked every opponent out with ease and finish off Solo Sikoa with a Superman punch, securing the victory and most importantly, the head of the table trophy. And with that, we are officially done with the showcase mode.
In that situation, bro, you just gotta take what you can get. Head of the table. Crowned your tribal chief. I'm done with this mode. I am happy. No, I think we're good.
Next, we move on to My Faction, which is WWE's Ultimate Team mode that has no auction house and constant content drops with cards that are only available with gambling your scarce in-game currency or using real money. And in this mode, we have a whopping 13 trophies to collect throughout different game modes inside of the mode itself. And since we got the Deadman edition of the game, we get a few free packs to start us off with a decent squad. Also, we have some free showcase packs for beating that mode already, which gives us the A Promising Start trophy while opening the packs.
A promising start. Completed a lifetime challenge of My Faction. Okay.
Now, the first mode we target inside of My Faction is Faction Wars, where we are going for the Faction Wars Champion trophy that you get for defeating 30 Faction Wars bosses. So for this mode, you pick 4 wrestlers to use for your run, and each run has 5 stages, with the last match being the boss match. So it's going to take a very long time to unlock this trophy. But luckily, we figure out different strategies along the way to speed things up. Now for our first Faction Wars match, we win a Money in the Bank match as Roman Reigns against Sheamus, and since it's our first faction win as a whole, we unlock Taste of Victory and Daily Progress for winning a match and completing a daily challenge.
Taste of Victory. Win a match in My Faction. Daily Progress. Complete a daily challenge. There we go.
And after we sort of figure out the strategy of My Faction, we're just going to want to target as many one-on-one matches as possible and take the route of least matches as possible, just so we can finish as fast as possible. Also, a very helpful part about this mode is that it has its own player market that you can use your coins from Faction Wars specifically to buy wrestlers that are actually very broken, as you'll see here soon. So we start to slowly make our way through our first run, wrestling lots of matches and slowly adding wrestlers to our squad as we beat them. And this is where we buy Randy Orton after saving enough Faction Wars points and figure out the Randy Orton strategy. And what this strategy is once you taunt twice with Randy Orton, you immediately unlock one free finishing move because he has Hall of Fame Rabble Rouser badge as a 79 overall, which is insane. So most of these matches, we just knock our opponent down, taunt twice, then RKO them for the win. It's a super cheap strategy, but it's going to end up saving us so many hours in the long run. And also, the deeper you get into your runs in this mode, you get abilities like starting with max finishers, and that also makes the matches fly by. Now for our next trophy, Champion for a Day, we just randomly completed all 3 daily challenges for that day after pinning Hulk Hogan as Andre the Giant. And this is the last trophy we unlock before our next trophy for beating Faction Wars, which is going to take a very long time.
Champion for a Day. Complete all 3 of a day's daily challenges in My Faction. Okay, I guess we didn't do that yet.
So about 7 hours and just a few RKOs later, we end up at the final match of our Faction Wars journey with our team of Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, and 2 Dwayne The Rock Johnsons. So we started the match with a rock bottom on Cody Rhodes and go for the pin, but Dirty Dom stops the pin. And this is where shit gets weird, because when we tag in Randy and try to emote to get the RKO, we get stuck emoting on the ropes. Then Cody does some crazy flip across the ring, knocking Randy and the ref out. So then I try to toss Cody towards the center of the ring to set up an RKO. He goes to the ropes and gets double rocked to absolute hell while we were trying to emote in the ring. Then the Rock's throw him back in the ring, and I meant to go for an RKO, but ended up pinning Cody instead, and we unlocked the Faction Wars Champion trophy.
And here comes the RKO. Oh, nope, did not mean to pin. Okay, well, I didn't even have to RKO him. He was just knocked out when they threw him back in the ring. Faction Wars Champion. Defeat 30 Faction Wars bosses in My Faction. Oh my God, that was annoying. Okay, now we need to do, I think, weekly towers. Okay, we just have to complete 1 weekly tower. That is nice.
Next, we target the weekly winner trophy, which just requires us to complete a weekly tower in My Faction. And luckily, this is the easiest mode inside of My Faction, and all we have to do is win 5 very simple matches. So after 5 RKOs and just about 15 minutes later, we end up pinning Braun Breaker as our last victim and unlock the weekly winner trophy very easily.
Yeah, weekly winner. Let's go. Complete a weekly tower in My Faction.
From there, we start to go after the Never Felt More Alive trophy for completing 10 live events in My Faction. And after completing about 6 out of 10 of the live event matches, we run into what I'm going to call a 2K roadblock. And that's because all the rest of the live events that you can play are only available if you have cards from either buying the $150 version of the game, which we did not buy, or from buying packs in the store. So I decided to put that trophy aside for a later date. Anyways, the second to last mode we target here is World Tour mode, which I was excited for at first because the rewards looked really cool, like this John Cena and CM Punk. But don't let the simplicity of this mode fool you, because from the menu it looks fairly quick and easy, but each of the cities have either 15 or 20 matches that progressively get harder. And also I should mention that quite a few of the matches here are Iron Man matches that are 15-minute long matches. So we start with Orlando because we have to, and about 2 hours later we play our final match, which you can see.
We're gonna hit a taunt. We're gonna try to get as many of these girls off the side as we can.
We formed a decent strategy to finish these tag team matches fairly easily. And with that win, we unlock the Start of the Journey trophy.
Start of the journey. Complete a location world tour in my faction. So now let's go to Philadelphia, I assume.
Next, we take out Philadelphia, which gives us a free Sapphire Rob Van Dam to use on our squad.
Get Rob Van Dam from 97, Sapphire Cosmetics, and some coins. Philadelphia is complete.
And also, we unlock the Journey of a Lifetime trophy while opening a reward pack.
Journey of a Lifetime. There we go. Complete 15 lifetime challenges in my faction. That's actually really nice.
Then we move on to Chicago, where the reward is Ruby CM Punk, which at the time is one of the best cards in the entire game. But Chicago is 20 matches rather than 15 like the last two cities. But not so fast, because as we get to the last stage of Chicago, we are required to use a Sapphire Roman Reigns that is unlocked by completing a stage in Los Angeles. And as you can see, Los Angeles is still locked. So now we have to go play through Boston to unlock Los Angeles, to get Roman, to then use in Chicago to unlock CM Punk. Gotta love 2K. So to start off with Boston, we speed through the first stage pretty fast, then we run into stage 2. We have 5 War Games matches to win. So yeah, as you can probably assume, I was not looking forward to this at all. But of course, after lots of time and stress, we eventually get all 5 pins, completing stage 2 of Boston, which at the time was the worst stage I played, but the worst is yet to come. So from here, we just decide to finish off Boston as a whole, unlocking Sapphire John Cena and Kurt Angle for our squad. So we're finally starting to stack up some cards here, and our collection is actually starting to look pretty nice. Now from here, we go on to grind out most of Los Angeles to unlock Roman Reigns, and many hours later, we unlock Roman and can finally finish off the last stage of Chicago. And Chicago's last stage was 5-star difficulty, but surprisingly not too bad. So it's only right to finish off the city we win in a Money in the Bank match against CM Punk himself, and ultimately claim our Ruby CM Punk.
Yes. 2010 CM Punk. Let's go. Chicago complete. Now we can finish Los Angeles. Solo Sikoa.
Then from here, we finally gain access to the last stage of Los Angeles, completing that city and unlocking Ruby Solo Sikoa. And at this point, we only have 2 cities left in World Tour mode, Dallas and New York.
Suit. Dallas and New York left.
So we chose to knock out New York first, which is rated the hardest city in the whole mode. But before we finished New York, we ended up unlocking Loyalty Confirmed, for claiming our daily login reward for 5 days in a row.
It is. Loyalty confirmed.
Now back to New York, we end up finishing it off in an Iron Man match as the Miz versus Cody Rhodes, where we end up pinning him 15 times to claim the Ruby Cody Rhodes, which leaves the city of Dallas left as our final location in the World Tour mode. And to start off Dallas, we have an entire stage of Iron Man matches to play, which are 5 15-minute matches that you have to play all the way through. Keep in mind, most matches with the Randy Orton strategy we could finish in about 2 minutes, but after countless hours, we end up at the final match of not only Dallas, but the entire World Tour mode itself. And this was just an annoying cage match where we ended up stumbling out of the front door as Triple H to secure the win. And if you were curious how many matches it takes to complete the World Tour mode, it is exactly 120 full-length WWE matches. So have fun.
This little mode inside of a mode was a platinum trophy grind in itself. This took like 30-40 hours.
But anyways, as we claim our final rewards, we finally unlock the United States Champion trophy for completing all USA matches in World Tour mode. And this leaves 2 trophies left to unlock in the My Faction mode, with the first being to complete all intro challenges in My Faction. And at this point, our only intro challenge left to complete is to win an online quick play match in My Faction. So unfortunately, that is what we do next. So we ended up matching up against an action figure Rock, where as we predicted, ended up being a very sloppy match of very high ping, delayed button inputs. And in the midst of arguing with this guy through my controller, we somehow kick out of a pin and escape a submission, leaving us with enough energy for a crossroads, which ends up being the finishing touch on this guy. But all that matters is that we unlock the Beginner's Luck trophy for completing all intro challenges in My Faction.
Beginner's Luck.
And now all we have left to do in the entire mode is to complete 10 of the live event matches, and then we are all done. And luckily at this point, we've gotten enough coins and cards required to play some of these challenges. So to top it all off, we end up KOing Pete Dunne as Pete Dunne to unlock the Never Felt More Alive trophy and officially finishing My Faction.
Never felt more alive.
Well, actually, there's one trophy left in My Faction called Rise to the Ranks, which ends up being the last trophy we unlock in this entire grind. And that's because it's not available until after the first season, about 2 months after the game launched, so that was fun to wait for. We'll come back to that. Because now it's time to start the My Rise grind. And My Rise is just WWE's career mode that every other sports game in existence has, so there's not much to go over there. But in My Rise, we have a total of 18 trophies to unlock, and a pretty uninteresting story that I'm just going to mostly zoom through to save you all some time and brain cells. So to start off My Rise, we choose to go to Raw, then right after creating our wrestler, who I named the Falcon, we unlock the Draft and the Furious trophy for being drafted #1 overall, which happens after we get the trophy for whatever reason.
Hey, the Draft and the Furious.
But from there, we wrestle our first match, obviously winning pretty easily, and then we fast forward to the draft where we are drafted #1 overall. And in the midst of all this happening, we get attacked by a Masked Man, which basically starts the story of this mode. And we talk to CM Punk backstage, who agrees to be on our side and help us out. Next, we win our first official match on Raw and get attacked by a Masked Man once again, this time getting the best of him and unmasking him to reveal he's Tony D'Angelo from NXT.
What the f? See the Dante Exum of this story?
So we go on to kick his ass in a match and then get jumped once again by all his allies, and they form the group NXT Mutiny, and that's basically all you need to know for the rest of this mode. Now for our next trophy, Then There Were Two, we create our second character of the opposite gender so that we can take over both sides of WWE, and I just named her the basic name Superstar. So we form our tag team with our new partner Superstar and challenge the current Unity title holders to a tag team match for the belts. And of course, things can't go smooth. As we're about to win the titles, they use an illegal eye poke and then an illegal belt shot, but as they go for the pin, we get saved by NXT's old producer, causing enough of a distraction for us to spear JC Jane and hit our duo finisher and claim the Unity tag team belts. And this unlocks the United We Stand trophy for winning the Unity titles for the first time.
United We Stand. Win Unity titles for the first time.
Now, immediately after that, we are introduced to the live event matches, which are just optional matches in My Rise that award us upgrade points to make our players better. So we wrestle a quick Extreme Rules KO match, and after coming out on top of that match, we unlock the We'll Do It Live trophy.
We'll do it live. Played a live event match in My Rise.
Next, we sort of get into a decision-based part of the story, which basically decides what happens going forward. So with our main character, we choose the comedic personality, which gives us what 2K thought was funny dialogue. We go on to have sort of a prank match with JD McDonough, where we change his music to clown music and then easily pin him. Then he comes back to interrupt our next match against Dirty Dom, where we electrified the ropes somehow. And finally, for the last part of the comedic storyline, we have a match against Damian Priest, where Doink the Clown knocks him out, and then we beat the shit out of him with clown weapons. Then after we eventually pin him, we unlock the Laughing Last trophy.
Laughing Last. Played a comedic personality story.
Now, since we chose the comedic story for our main guy, we choose the bold and brash story for our girl Superstar. So we go to Japan and win the belt, which ended up being a fake belt somehow, so we just give it back. Then we find out that Mutiny is raiding and destroying the WWE archives, and we end up pulling up on them and beating the shit out of them, mainly Io Sky because she set up the fake belt match and has the real one. And finally, we wrestle a title match against Io Sky where we end up winning the real WWE Undisputed belt this time. And after that, we unlock the Bold Moves trophy.
Bold Moves. Played a bold and brash personality story.
Now, for this part, we don't get a trophy, but it's a big turning point in the story, so I don't want to leave it out. We enter a tag team match with Superstar and CM Punk versus Mutiny members Lexus, King, and Bayley. And as we're about to win the match with our tag team finisher, CM Punk turns on Superstar, hitting her with the GTS, allowing Mutiny to win and revealing that he's been with Mutiny this entire time. So to form our squad to take down Mutiny, we are able to choose one male and one female wrestler to be our allies. Now for the men, we choose Drew McIntyre, and for the women, we choose Jade Cargill. And now that both of them have joined us as allies, we unlock the Survivor Squad trophy.
Survivor Squad recruited 2 allies.
Now with the new squad, everything leads up to Survivor Series, where everybody has a match against Mutiny, with the last match being Falcon and Superstar against CM Punk and Bayley for the tag team belts. So for the first match of Survivor Series, Mutiny wins by another distraction, leading to Io Sky pinning Jade Cargill. Then the second match is Drew McIntyre versus Kevin Owens, where we kicked the shit out of Kevin and there was no cheating involved. So we took care of that pretty easily, which all leads to the final match of Survivor Series that everybody has been waiting for. But not so fast, because Superstar is missing and doesn't show up to the match. But of course, we have to wrestle anyways, so we agree to a 2-on-1 against CM Punk and Bayley. Now as the match goes on, we eventually hit CM Punk with our signature, and as we're about to get the 3 count, Bayley interrupts, and out of nowhere, Superstar's music hits and she makes her way to the ring with a chair. And just as we think she's showing up to help us, after all this time, she ends up turning on us and joining Mutiny right then and there, allowing CM Punk and Bayley to retain the titles. And now we have the choice of recruiting WWE legends, indie wrestlers, or past 2K My players to assist us in taking down Superstar-led Mutiny. And all 3 of these choices are trophies on their own, so we will eventually have to go back and pick all 3 routes. But for the first playthrough, we go to the WWE legends. So we go to a convention to meet up with Diamond Dallas Page and Trish Stratus, who form a strategy, and doing so unlocks the legendary Assemble trophy.
Legends Assemble. Choose Legendary Help branch and reclaim ending.
Now, we are a few weeks away from WrestleMania, and with CM Punk and Mutiny in charge of the company now, he announces that he's changing WrestleMania to WrestleMania CM. And during this announcement, all hell breaks loose as we assemble the Avengers of WWE Legends and pull up on all of Mutiny backstage while we confront CM Punk and Superstar in the ring, and they run away from us. But luckily, we chase them out of the arena into the parking lot, and as we're beating the daylights out of CM Punk, Superstar intervenes and they escape in a getaway car. But for the first time in a while, we won that interaction, and that's exactly what we needed leading into WrestleMania. So we pick our 3 legends to be on our squad for one more match against Mutiny before WrestleMania, and we make quick work of them and officially call out Superstar to a one-on-one match to main event WrestleMania and conclude the story. And I'm sure you already know how this match is going to go, so we use everything we know against Superstar, not giving her a chance to do anything, and for the final blow, we use the Randy Orton punt to finish her off and pin her to win the WrestleMania main event. And with our first playthrough over, we unlock the Righteous Victory trophy for completing the reclaim ending of My Rise.
Righteous Victory. Completed story. Reclaim ending.
And like I've mentioned before, unfortunately there are still 2 other endings that we have to complete yet, but I'll speed through these since it's not very interesting. Now for our next trophy, the Strategist, we chose the Scheming Personality route where we basically started up the NWO again, and after a few matches, we unlock the Strategist trophy.
The Strategist.
Next, we take a different route as Superstar, beating Io Sky in a match to win the NXT Championship and unlock the Forged in Battle trophy.
Forged in Battle. Finally, man.
Then we've already sped all the way through the story, this time as Superstar representing Mutiny. And this time we face The Rock at WrestleMania, and once we take care of him and win the title, we unlock the Mutiny Mastermind and Encore Performance trophies.
Mutiny Mastermind. What is that? Completed story. Conquer ending. Okay, there we go. Then it should go on. Yeah, there we go. Encore performance. Completed the story again.
Leaving only 5 more trophies left to collect in My Rise. Anyways, for our next playthrough, we chose the route to recruit indie wrestlers as allies, and this unlocks the Indie Infiltration trophy.
Studio Indie Infiltration.
And then finally, we go all the way back through the story and choose the Blast from the Past option that unlocks the Multiverse of My Players trophy.
Multiverse of players, of my players.
Now this leaves 1 story-related trophy left that I somehow didn't unlock yet because you need to do a weird combination of story decisions to get. But finally we get there and beat Wendy Chu for the NXT Championship, unlocking the Victory by Design trophy.
Victory by Design. 1 NXT Championship fought Ashante, Adonis, or Wendy Chu. Finally.
So all story-related trophies are done now, and the 2 trophies left in My Rise just require us to get 50 and then 100 live event match stars. And to do this, we just need to put on about 20 5-star matches of My Rise against the CPU, which is going to take forever and sounds horrible. But while grinding these out, we figured out a strategy to just beat our opponent over and over with weapons from under the ring and use our finishers once we get them. So it was a very mind-numbing grind, but at the end of the day, we ended up unlocking the live event MVP,
Live event MVP, that is 50 stars.
and live event legend trophies.
Live event legend, finally. Earned 100 stars in live event matches.
And officially finishing My Rise as a whole, and at this point, I can taste the Platinum trophy.
Mic up, there we go.
Next, we move on to Universe mode, which will be very quick since we only have to get 5 trophies in the entire mode. And this mode basically just lets you control the entire WWE in every way possible. Not something that I'm personally interested in doing, so I just try to speed through this. So for our first trophy, Mic Up, we just had to cut a rivalry promo, which we did with Liv Morgan. And I honestly thought this mode was super confusing, so I just looked up how to set up every scenario to get the trophies, because I had no clue what was going on. And shortly after that, we unlock enough talk for starting an immediate match from a call out.
There we go, enough talk. Do I gotta play this?
Which was quite interesting. Next, we get Open Season for completing an Issue Open challenge, which I ended up just disqualifying myself for the sake of time.
Open Season, there we go.
Then I accidentally unlocked Biggest Nights of the Year while simulating through the current season I was in.
Biggest nights of the year. What'd I just do? Complete both nights of WrestleMania.
With 1 trophy remaining in this mode, all we have to do is crown a new king and queen of the ring. So we do just that, unlocking the Wrestling Royalty trophy and finishing Universe mode.
Wrestling Royalty. Oh, I thought it was gonna crown a new king and queen.
From there, we move on to just the simple play now mode versus AI, which I was saving because all 10 trophies in this mode are pretty simple little goals, and it's always the mode I used to play in the old WWE games. Now, all these trophies are going to be super easy because the mode isn't that hard at all. So we start off with Going Solo, where we have to defeat Roman Reigns in a Bloodline Rules match without summoning any allies on Legend difficulty, which sounds complicated, but we just submit him about 30 seconds unlocking the trophy.
Yeah, that's all we had to do? Did we win? That was too easy. I'll take it.
For the next match, we get 3 trophies, with the first being backed by popular demand.
Here we go. Back by popular demand.
For completing a chain wrestling sequence. Then right after that, we let Chad Gable damage us to the point of critical condition. So if we come back and get the win, we will unlock a trophy.
Go, Logan. This is new. There we go. We're going to get all the trophies with Logan Paul.
Then we perform a dive attack off of the barricade to unlock This Is New. And of course, we come back and win this match, unlocking the Miraculous Comeback Trophy.
Miraculous comeback. Now what do we need?
Next, we target Impeccable Ring Awareness, which all we have to do is win via pin or submission without having any rope breaks called. So pretty simple. So using Roman Reigns, we just completely bully Tozawa for the win and getting the trophy.
Impeccable Ring Awareness. That poor guy, man. That poor guy.
Then for the next 2 trophies, we unlock them on back-to-back matches, with the first being Recovery Deferred for winning 25 matches on Legend difficulty without using instant recovery.
Recovery Deferred. Is that what I was looking for?
And right after that, we get Underground Reign for getting 25 consecutive wins via KO or submission in Underground matches on Legend difficulty. And obviously, we use all submissions because it was way too easy.
Underground Reign. Let's go. That was brain dead.
Now, at this point, we have 3 trophies remaining in the Play Now mode. So first, we target Size Matters. We're using any giant. We have to win a 5-entrant Turmoil Gauntlet on Legend without losing all armor. And of course, the giant we go with is Undertaker because he's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And we choose 5 very bad wrestlers to go against to just make it super easy. We make easy work out of every one of them, unlocking the trophy.
There we go. Size Matters.
Next, we go after Mommy's Revenge, which you can probably guess what we have to do. So using Rhea Ripley, we have to defeat all Judgment Day members on Legend. And with the submission strategy, this ends up going the same way as about the past 5 trophies have.
Mommy's Revenge. There we go. We are just running through these trophies now.
And this leaves 1 trophy left in the mode, being Let's Run It Back, for successfully running through a 20-entrant Turmoil match on Legend. So of course, we choose Roman Reigns because he is extremely overpowered, but honestly, it doesn't really matter when we're doing the submission strategy. So 20 tap outs later, we win the match, unlocking the Let's Run It Back trophy and finishing Play Now mode.
Where's my trophy, bro? There we go. Let's run it back. I think that's the last Play Now. Yes, that was the last Play Now. Now we only have My GM.
And now we only have 1 mode left in the game, being My GM, which I understand that there's probably a community of people that like this mode, but I have absolutely 0 interest in it and did not have much fun at all. But basically, this was just about 10 hours of us simulating matches and signing random wrestlers to random contracts. So for the first trophy, we just had to have 5 superstars get injured during a go-home show. And to do this, you just had to make every match a no-holds-barred match. And after simulating, we unlock the Just a Scratch trophy.
Just a scratch. There we go.
Next, we finish an entire season using CM Punk as our GM and finishing in first place representing the Mutiny brand, which sounds like a lot, but was actually very easy. And this unlocked GM Punk.
GM Punk.
Then we do another fairly simple trophy where we have to book a show and have exactly $0 left in our balance. And this took a little bit of math to figure out, but in the end, we unlock Use It or Lose It.
Use it or lose it. There we go. That took math.
Next, we target Inevitable, where we have to have an immortal Kyle Slickman on our roster and win the main event of WrestleMania with him. And this one was a bit weird because not only do you have to get the guy on your roster, you have to level him up all the way to immortal status, which isn't hard, it just takes a lot of time. But once we do so, we get to WrestleMania with him, win the match, and unlock the Inevitable trophy.
Inevitable. There we go. God.
Then we go after Medical Bill, requiring us to unlock $150,000 or more by releasing an injured cash suplex from your roster, who's just a fictional wrestler in this mode. And again, this one wasn't hard, just kind of annoying, but we end up getting the trophy.
Medical Bill. There we go.
Now we have to win the main event of every PLE while playing as the Mutiny brand. And this one took quite a while because it just involves randomness of the match being given to you. But with the last match being King and Queen of the Ring, we finally unlocked the 1% trophy.
The 1%? What?
Queen of the Ring.
How the hell did I just get it there? I don't know.
And actually, I lied. We have 1 more Play Now trophy left that I forgot to do, which was win a match with a randomized custom superstar. So we randomized a custom superstar, then won a match with him, unlocking the Rando Rising trophy.
Rando Rising. There we go, man. 2 more trophies left. 1 is unobtainable as we speak.
And now we have 2 trophies remaining in the entire game, 3 if you count the platinum. And there's a reason that these 2 are the only ones left. And that's because one of them, Rise to the Ranks, is unobtainable at this point in the game because Season 1 isn't over for another month. And the other one is Host with the Most, which requires us to host and complete a MyGM online WrestleMania show with 3 other human-controlled brands. Now, the problems with this trophy are that I don't know anybody that plays WWE 2K25 on PlayStation, and finding 3 other humans that are going for the Platinum Trophy on WWE 2K25 that can all get on and do this trophy at the same time is going to be absolute hell. Now, luckily, most Platinum grinders were already done with the game similar to where I was and just needed this one trophy. So after lots of searching and failing, we eventually find 3 other people in a YouTube comment section of a random video to all get on and get the trophy. So we all take our turns getting the trophy one by one, and once my turn comes up, we finally unlock the host with the most trophy, aka the biggest pain in the ass trophy in this entire game. Here we go, host with the most. God damn, bro. Shout out to all these guys, man. That is a annoying trophy. And finally, we have 1 trophy remaining that we just have to wait to claim. So fast forward 2 months from the game's release, and we can finally claim this reward. So we log into my faction, get the trophy right away, which then leads to the Platinum Trophy. Rise to the ranks. There it is. Now Platinum. Platinum, it's coming. We are officially done with WWE 2K25, and I don't ever want to experience that in my life again, because as you can see, we look at my hours and it is quite sickening. 123 hours. Now in review, whether you're a WWE diehard fan or not, don't do this. Still over 100 hours of gameplay. That is disgusting. Let me check like the percentage of people that won this trophy. 0.1. Okay. Well,